This is your accountability sheets each week. You'll turn in an accountability sheet at the end of class. Normal college's expectations are 2 hours of homework for every hour of class time. So you will spend probably 10 to 15 hours approximately for this class every week. So you have to turn an accountability sheet. We got to make a PDF, record your hours. I want it on one page. Must be complete on the last day of class. So you submit it right there, and you'll also get bonus points for submitting it on time. This is an example of how to do the accountability sheet. So when you get a chance, read through this, take a look at the example, and I recommend doing it on Excel spreadsheets. If you don't know how to do an Excel spreadsheet, I'm going to make one now for you so you can see how easy this will be. This will be an example of an Excel spreadsheet. So what I do here is, if you haven't done this, you just click here and find your Excel. Open up a new Excel spreadsheet. And then what I do is I'll just make a new sheet here. I'll hit the plus to make a new sheet. Oh, sorry, I didn't get kicked out of that. So it just opened up a new sheet here. And if you go back to the example here, we got a start date, time in, time out, description, workbenches, and hours. So I'm just going to copy that so I don't have to do anything. I'm going to hit Alt Tab to get to the next, or back to the Excel page. What you have to do though is to click up here in the top and paste there. Control C is copy, Control V is paste. And then Alt Tab takes me back here, and you got time in. So Control C, Alt Tab, click here, Control V. You could always just type it in. So time in, time out, description, and for a lot of you guys, you're probably a lot faster at typing. So you just click over here and just type in workbenches, hours. All right. So the start date, what I do is I just highlight this column A, select on the A here, and then over here where it says numbers, there's an arrow right here. You can click on that and change that to say date. And I just leave it with the default and say OK. And you click in this cell, and let's say today's date is the 10th. So you type in 1/10, January 10th. I just hit enter, and it automatically puts it at January 10th and adds a year. And then if you highlight both A, B, and or B and C, highlight both of those and go right back to that number, you can make that time. So I just leave it as the default again and select OK. So let's say class starts at 1. So you type in 1 space A and hit enter, and it automatically fills in the rest. And let's say class ends at 4. 4 space not 1 a.m. Let's go 4 p.m. I don't have class at 1 a.m. So go 1 space P, enter. So from 1 to 4. So let's say we'll go to this module, and you worked on this module the first day of classes. You're welcome. Okay. So I just come back over here. The description is the module you were working on. And then over here, the workbench is going to be the CAD software, and I'm just going to put in CAD hours. Now let's say that really only took me an hour to do. What I do is I copy this and paste this. So on the same day, from 1 to 2, so I just type in 2. Now if you hit 2 and hit enter, it's going to default to 12 a.m. So you got to put an A or P after it. So 2 space P, enter. So from 1 to 2 for 1 hour, worked on the welcome module. And then this is just scholarship information and nothing for you to really do. This class formalities, let's say it took you another hour to do the syllabus quiz. Okay, hopefully it won't take you that long, but let's just say that was the case. So you do the syllabus quiz, you read how to do this accountability sheet, which I'm showing you now. I'm going to go over what the student projects are and the due dates. You should be able to do all this in an hour. So I'm going to Alt Tab over here. Oops. This is called class formalities. So I'm going to hit Alt Tab. And for the description, I put in class you see how that wasn't long enough? So you can double click this line right here, or you can grab the line and just stretch it out, make it look a little nicer. Okay, again, we did CAD. All right, maybe that's what you did for the first 2 days and that took you 2 hours. So I hit 2 here, and we got to change the time in to say 2P, sorry, 2 space P. So from 1 to 2, you did the welcome module. From 2 to 4, you did the class formalities. And then class ends at 4. Let's say you stayed late from class because you wanted to finish this next thing. So again, I just copy and click here and paste. And then let's say I stayed after class because I wanted to do another module. So I changed that 2 to a 4. And I stayed an hour late. So I go 5. So let's say you stayed with me in class from 4 to 5. And the next module was the account setup. So you guys have to set up an account. You must use Chrome on your personal computer. It must be your default now. And the school computer must be the default browser is the Chrome. We got to set up your logons. That's to log on to Canvas, which you must have done by now to get here. And then also you got to set up a student Gmail account. So your student college account email, and you have to have certain computer specs to make this work if you're going to work from home. All right, so that's your account setup. Let's say that took you another hour. So I hit Alt Tab to get back to here, and not class formalities, it was account setup. Again, you can copy paste or whatever you want to do. Okay. All right, so maybe the next day I decided to do more work. You can click on this and hit the down arrow, or hit that little black dot and just drag it down, and it will add the next day in there. So let's say the next day I decided to do another assignment. So just go back. Where to go for help is not assignment, it's just help. So now you're going to install your software. We're going to install software for CATIA, AutoCAD, and SolidWorks. You don't have to do this. You can always come to the lab and just use a school computer. But if you want to work from home, you'll want to set these up. So this is what this is all about. We won't be doing, hopefully, this here. This is just if you want your own personal CATIA after you're done using this, or after you're done with the class. This is a link to get into the CATIA. If you're having problems with any CAD software, try to clear your caches. When they update the systems, this is how to update the system on yours, and then this is loading SolidWorks, loading AutoCAD, and loading the CATIA. Alright, so let's say that takes you another hour the next day. You can try and highlight this and right click and copy, but I have a hard time getting that, so it's just easier for me to retype it in. So on this day I was installing software. And again, I just put CAD. Again, if you type in just the letter C, it knows what you've typed in, and you can just hit tab and it'll jump to the next cell. And let's say that takes you an hour. All right, and you did that. You got up early in the morning, so you do 9 space A, and it took you till 10 a.m. 10 space A, and enter. All right, hopefully you're getting the picture of this. And then the next day was class, so you just went down here, grab that little box and drag it down. And the next module, we did CATIA infrastructure. Okay. Oh no, sorry. We did this infrastructure to CATIA. So let's say we did the infrastructure to CATIA that day in class. And again, now that we're doing CATIA, I'm actually going to type in CATIA here as my workbench. And oh, wait a minute, that was we're doing installing software, sorry. So I do installing software. Oh no, I already did installing software, sorry. We are doing infrastructure. Sorry. Undo. All right. Again, you can grab this line up here between the D and the E and just drag it over, make it a little bit bigger if you want. Let's say we did that. We're in class from 1 to 2 again, or 1 to 4. So I type in 1 space P, and then 2 space P. Okay, again, this is just an example. Whatever it took you, that's what I want you to record. So you're going to go through this whole infrastructure of CATIA section here, just how to get going, how to get started, how to manipulate stuff. And then we're actually finally going to get to do something. So we get to create a sketch in CATIA. So that's the next module. You could just say sketch your workbench or type this whole thing out, whatever you want. Again, sometimes I could get this to highlight, right click and paste it, copy it. Sometimes it's a bugger. So I use my control button, and yeah, sometimes that works for me, sometimes it doesn't. As soon as I let go to right click, it seems to cancel that off. So anyways, just to make this faster, I'm going to do sketch your workbench. And again, we go from 2 to 4. So I'm just going to copy paste 2 to 4 in there, and then that was on the same day. So I just type in 1/12 and hit enter, and it figures out the year for me. And that was CATIA, so I got to type in cat, and it will recognize that and hit enter. And I spent 2 hours on that. And then let's say you're still working on that. So on that same day, you can just Control C, go down, Control V. At 6 o'clock at night, I'm doing some homework, so I record that. Whoops. Let's say I was doing started at 6, so 6-P, space P, enter, and I worked on it till 7. And that's another hour there. Oh, wait a minute. So what you're going to do is you're going to turn in this accountability sheet at the end of class because you want the bonus points. So you submit this, but that same day you did homework, right? So what I do is on this tab below, I double click it and name that to week 1. And then what I do is I right click, move copy, move to end, create a copy, select OK, and see how I put that parenthesis too? So what I do is I'm going to delete this, right click, delete, say delete. So if you got something you didn't want, you can always delete it. What I do is I put this 1 in parenthesis and hit enter. So week 1 is in parentheses. Now when I copy it, select OK, there's week 2. And it's all copied. And what I could do is highlight all this, right click and hit delete. And then this is starting for week number 2, and then week number 1, I would remove this because I wouldn't want that on week number 1. Okay, hopefully you've realized, oh man, I got to get my accountability sheet in. It's due today. So you submit this, you make a PDF of this page and submit that. Under week 2, I would continue on for the next classes. So let's say you need to make a PDF. I click on this. First you must save it. So I'm going to do a file, save as, and I'm going to save it in my 111 class. And I'm going to call it, highlight this thing, I will call it accountability sheets. Okay, so it's now saved. And then I'm going to do a file, save as PDF here. You can do it that way, or, and then you hit convert to PDF, or you do a save as, accountability sheet, document 11, that's fine. And I'm going to hit the save, oops, I just did a save as, sorry, file, save as, and I'm going to hit browse. It's in that same sheet, and what you got to do is switch this to a PDF. Just leave it the same name and save it. And it makes a nice PDF that I can actually read on my screen. I wanted a PDF. I want it 1 page. Oh no, I forgot something. I forgot total hours. So what we gotta do is add up the hours at the end. I'm gonna close this off. Come back here. Now if you highlight this, it tells me there's a sum of 9 hours on the bottom. Okay. So you don't even have to count it up. You can just highlight that whole row and it will add up all the hours for you. And I'll put in 9 hours it said it was, and I'll just say total right here. So if you do something like that, that's great. If you want to make it prettier, that's even better. But this is my minimum of what I would want to see. So again, you do a file, hit save as PDF is what I do, but also you can do a save as, browse, and switch this to PDF. And there's one already there. It doesn't matter. Just save right over the top and say yes. And then you have to submit this to Canvas. All right. So I'll carry on just a little bit more here. So under week 2, let's say you did some work over the weekend because you were having fun. You wanted to finish this. So maybe on 1/14 you did some work and you worked from 9 in the morning till 11 in the morning. You can copy this, Control C, click right here, Control V to paste that. And let's say that's 9 to 11, so that's 2 more hours. Okay, so even though it was the weekend, you're still recording everything you're doing. Let's say you don't even come to class the next week because you have work or something, you couldn't make it, you're still going to record what hours you're doing, even if you're in class or not in class. On average, we should be getting around 10 to 15 hours a week, so that's what I'm expecting to see. All right, so again, when you're done with week 2, make a PDF, submit it, right click, copy, create a copy, move to the end, and say okay, and that will start your week 3. All right, hope that helps you get your accountability sheets set up, and you see how easy that is to do. So please submit your accountability sheets at the end of class, at the end of the week. Thank you.